and we have a presentation of Roman Klepikovskiy, the occurrence of marine mammals in the Barents Sea, based on the results of Russian-Norwegian ecosystem surveys in August-October 2004-2019. Dear colleagues, I would like to present to your attention our presentation on the occurrence of marine mammals in the Barents Sea, based on the results of Russian-Norwegian ecosystem surveys in August-October 2004-2019. We have summary information on the occurrence of marine mammals in the open parts of the Barents Sea and closer aquatic areas, based on the annual joint vessel-based surveys of the Russian Research Fisheries Institute and Oceanography and the Norwegian Institute of Marine Studies. The author of this presentation took part in the collection and processing of primary data, as well as the writing of publications and reports from the Russian side. Usually there are 2 or 3 vessels from the Norwegian side. They cover the western parts of the Barents Sea. There is 1 vessel from the Russian side covering the eastern parts of the Barents Sea. As a result of this joint survey, we cover the entire area of the Barents Sea and some of the adjacent areas. The observations are based on specific methods. Visual surveys are done during the movement of the vessels at the speed of about 10 knots. During the survey period between 2004 and 2019, overall, 8,000 encounters with marine mammals were registered. Here on this graph you can see the numbers by year. In some years, not all the vessels took note of the marine mammals, or in some years they did not cover all the areas of the Barents Sea. Because of that, the overall number of sightings may have been affected. The main areas of surveys were the open part of the Barents Sea. Because it is so far away from the coast, the majority of encounters were with cetaceans. Overall, 90% of all the registered encountered mammals were cetaceans. Most often we sighted white-beaked dolphin, minke whales and fin whales, as well as humpback whales. In order to have a better understanding of the types of marine animals that have been sighted during the surveys of 2004 and 2019, the entire area of the Barents Sea was divided into 4 quadrants: the Svalbard area, western, northeastern and southeastern. For each of these sub-areas, the percentage of sightings have been determined. This is a percentage from the total. The most populated area was the area of Svalbard. The high number of encounters can be explained by the availability of fish, mostly caplin. To the east of Svalbard, we mostly see a lot of adult caplins, and this attracts a lot of cetaceans. For each of the areas, we have also determined the distribution of species. In the Svalbard part, over this entire period of surveys, 15 different species have been registered. The most often encountered are fin whale, minke whale, humpback whale. In the west, 14 different species have been seen, with the majority of white-beaked dolphins, fin whale and humpback whale. In the northeast, 12 species have been registered, and the majority were white-beaked dolphin, minke whale, humpback whale, fin whale and harp seals. In the southeast part, 10 species have been noticed. Among them white-beaked dolphin, minke whale, harbour porpoises and fin whales. The number of encounters have revealed the following trends. The Svalbard area was the most populated one. The number of encounters from 2004 to 2019 has increased, especially in the past 3 years. The western part has seen a number of encounters, mostly from 2005, 2007, 2010 and 2019. The specifics of sightings of marine mammals in this area may prove that the different areas of the Barents Sea had their own distribution of various species, and that changed from year to year. The highest rates of occurrence were registered in the Svalbard area and the lowest in the southeast. These features should be taken into account when assessing the distribution and abundance of marine mammals, as well as their influence on various species of aquatic organisms, primarily commercial fish. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your presentation. We have some time left for questions, although not much. I don't see any questions in the chat, and then I'll ask my own questions. In the Svalbard area, have you ever encountered the beluga whale or the white whale? Well, not much. We usually do the surveys from August to October, but in 2020, for the first time, we did our survey at a different time, from the end of September through the middle of November, and at that time we were near the Svalbard area, and we have seen a big group of beluga whale. This must have been a group of whales that spent the winter there, and they may have passed this area to get into the open Barents Sea, where they usually spend the winter. Usually from August to October, white whales are very rarely seen. Thank you very much. No, we have never seen Greenland right whales, no. I can see a question from Mr. Spack. From which side of the Svalbard area you can see Sesebie, the point of observation? Well, this is I'm trying to be a participant, but I think Roman's presentation was very interesting, but I don't know if you have seen the encounters of white whales. This was not reflected in your presentation. You mentioned that you saw white whales, beluga whales in 2020. Yes, we've seen them because the focus shifted. Could you please explain where exactly you have seen them? Well, we have seen a group of beluga whales, approximately 2,000. And this entire herd, if I can call them a herd, was approximately 7 kilometers in length. This group of whales was to the southwest of the Zephyr, the point of observation, maybe 100 miles. We'll have to see. So it was not between the new land, no? And the Zephyr. It was on the 8th of October, I think, if I remember right. Thank you very much. It's very interesting. It is really, really interesting. And you have never seen narwhals? No, they may be in the 20-mile zone, but we'd never do surveys there. We only do surveys in the open sea. Thank you very much. This was very, very interesting. I have a question. As far as I understand, your surveys are conducted both in the Norwegian waters and Russian waters. If you look at the Russian waters, have you ever seen bottlenose whales? I have had sightings of bottlenose whales, but not in the western part of Barents Sea. Basically, it is already the Norwegian part of the sea. And I was there at the vessel, the fishing vessel. We have seen bottlenose whales, but these are Norwegian waters, yes. In the Russian zone, I have never seen a bottlenose whale, no. Thank you very much. I'm asking because I looked at the red book for listed endangered species. I noticed that we never really encounter bottlenose whales in the Russian waters because they usually dwell deep in the sea. I have a question with regard to killer whales. Do you have any observations on the patterns of behavior? Where do you see these killer whales mostly? Is there any pattern of feeding? Do they prefer some kind of fish species? I have another presentation, which is the next presentation, that will be dedicated to killer whales. But you can find orcas everywhere. For example, in 2020, we have seen a big group of white whales, but next to them there was a big group of killer whales. They must have followed them, maybe trying to kill the weak animals. Also in the Kara Sea, we have seen a lot of killer whales, some single animals, mostly adult males. They may probably be there for seals because you don't really have that much fish to attract killer whales. But in the Norwegian zone, you can see groups of killer whales because they have a lot of herrings. And have you been doing photographing there? Well, we have been taking pictures. The quality is not very good. Yeah, but if you have any good shots, close shots of specific animals, that would be very good if you could share it. I think it would be interesting for our Norwegian colleagues as well to see how they move between different areas. We can have a look. Maybe we can select some good photos.